Welcome to the Monday morning post parade. This is Monday, August 25th. You're looking at a daily chart of Uber Technologies, which is set up in a late stage base here. Made a nice move on Friday, which a lot of stocks did after the speech from Jackson Hole by Jerome Powell. And he really didn't say much. A bunch of word salad that I went through and looked at his speech, and I read it a few times over as a long speech, but he really didn't say anything, that he hadn't said before. So I think the algorithm just grabbed a headline that the policy might shift, and they really ran with it. And maybe today it pulls back a little bit, the market overall. But Uber looks pretty good here, just a little extended off that 2.2%, but it's one that I do like. A couple other names that I do like here for the week, and this is I don't know if it's Zeta or Zeta, but if you have a vowel, consonant, vowel, the first vowel's long and the second vowel's silent, right? Like in bike. So I'm going with that. So I'm going to say it's Zeta Global Holdings, just being proper English. Anyway, this has made this little like wedge pattern here, and on Friday. It pushed off of its 5 EMA and was up nearly 7%. I wouldn't call that extended, though. I think it could make that move higher, 3.5% above the 5. But, software has been kind of sketchy lately, and we're in the dog days of August. So, the times are a little slower. People are on vacation, and got to wait till probably the middle of September before we get back into, that real, trading where it's, higher volume, more interest in the, we're just in a seasonally kind of a slow period. This is IBP, one of the top stocks and one of the top groups, building maintenance group. You can see this big base. There is no truth to the bigger the base, the higher in space, but people like to say that. It's been a year since it's been consolidating in the base. It's really moved off the lows here, from the liberation times of April, when it was 159. Now it's a 273. So one to watch here. Nice cup with handle pattern on IBP. MedP, another one that I like. This one again, it's been consolidating for a long time. You can see this big old base. Then it ramped up this one week, 43%. It was even more than that in the day. I think. I think it was like, yeah, 54% in the day, and it just kind of gone sideways ever since, allowing the moving averages to catch up. But another, stock that I like, a medical research stock. Oh, Tesla. This is one that I had on the last few weeks, I believe. Still, consolidating within that base, trading, tight near the moving averages, broke above the downtrend line here. It looks like it was going to run up and then just pulled back and then undercut the moving average and has rallied back above on Friday, down slightly in pre-market. That's not a big deal. But I like Tesla for this week. The gold stocks, WPM, I think you gotta look at the gold anyway. It's the top group. This one had pulled back that old buy point of 95.23, so it's one that I'm watching. Rubrik, once again, another software name. CrowdStrike reports on Wednesday. It's going to impact this stock and the group probably, but this one undercut the 50 and rallied back above on Friday. It was up 4%, so definitely one that I am watching. Another one that reports earnings this week is IREN. This is a Bitcoin data center play, and it's still within this box here of that 2154 area, right? Closed just a tick below it, but still within, this box type of pattern. So look for the earnings to take it out of that box and break out. I think longer term, this one's going to do really well. CGNX, sometimes I write these things down over the weekend. I read and study and look at charts and I write them down. I don't know why, because I don't even know what this stock does, but I could see that it's it's showing a lot of strength there. Yeah, probably made a new high on Friday, like a 52-week high, but finding support at the 5, it's surfing that 5 now like Kelly Slater since the breakout on July 31st there, a nice 21% move. So that is why I wrote that down. Who else do we have here? Oh, Spotify. This is one, once again, one of these software names, but cup with handle pattern, nice little wedge, pull back there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 days. So maybe it's going to bounce off that 21 there. Just one that I'm watching, Spotify. I like to see it get back over, 700 and start moving in the other direction here. What else do we have? Oh, nice pattern here above 39. I like you. I mean, that's a nice, once again, like IREN, it's got this little box that it needs a break out of. So we'll give it some time. Just watching you. Oh, BMNR. This is a Ethereum play. Some people think it just trades on Bitcoin, but it's a Ethereum play, which Bitcoin is down quite a bit over the weekend, and Ethereum's kind of held its gains. It had nice gains over the last 7 days, and over the weekend, it's still, trading flat to a little higher. But this is a nice pullback right here. This little wedge pattern. It bounced off the 21 on Friday, I believe. Let me get this straight here. But yeah, this is an Ethereum play. People get confused with Bitcoin and Ethereum. Yeah, the 21 is 48.82 and it traded down to 47.02. So watching this one because Ethereum has been pretty strong. And what else we have? Oh, SE, another one that I like. Gap higher on our earnings. And what has it done since? Just surfing the five. Then on Friday, made a nice big move. So above 185.68. It's blue skies for SE. You can see this, highest volume day ever. And the institutions usually don't, bite all at once. They come back for another bite or two and nibble. A couple others that I just wrote down that I'm not going to put on my ready list, but you can't ignore these big moves and then these wedge patterns or pennant patterns. They've worked really well recently, but we're kind of in a different market right now. After, 18 weeks of rallying, it's kind of just digesting gains and stalling, but nice move for this one. GDOT, Green Dot, Finance Credit Card Payment Stock, and the other one is ATEC. Another one that made a big move and now surfing the five, just gradually, quietly, don't say anything. Medical product stock, it's just grinding higher. Sometimes I put stocks on the ready list and then I take them off the following week. It doesn't mean that I don't like them. It's just that they're getting extended. I like Google a lot here, especially if it pulls back. I don't know if it's going to want to pull back, but I like this for longer term and I like it shorter term, and it's just breaking out of this base here. Looks like it wants to grind higher. That is Google. I don't have it on the ready list. I did include Tesla, but I took Google out because it's getting a little extended. A couple other names, Palantir. Obviously, you got to look at the weekly chart here, and this is a huge bar here last week. So the low, you don't want it going below the 142.30, 142.34, the low from last week. And then the high to get more bullish is 177.90. So it's got a lot of work to do. And usually those big bars, those are the enemy of us longs. That's a lot of indecision there. So that's another one that I'm watching. Reddit also, kind of these big bars from last week. That looks like it made this high and then reversed lower, 253.14, the high 205.37. So you don't want it going below 205.37. So a couple of names that I'm watching. And also got to mention Open. Has a lot of volume in pre-market. And I got to go to the daily here because if it gets above that 497, call it $5. There's a lot of short interest in this one. And this is not a fly-by-night like GameStop. These guys actually have sales, pretty decent sales. They expect Q3 of 875 million in sales. So poorly managed. They're losing money, but they do have sales. So one to watch out for. Just, there's a lot of short interest, and those shorts are eventually buyers at some point. And then AEHR had news this morning, and it's up quite a bit, 16%. You can see this nice sharp pullback after the big gain up to 23. So another stock that I'm watching today. Anyway, that's it. Thank you for watching Post Parade. We never give up. Have a good Monday.